That's like splitting your car in half. Like, especially if something bad has just happened in your life.
Yeah.
Don't listen to this song. You'll be on the floor. You'll be in a casket. I guarantee you, this song will just end you. Hello, welcome back to the Album Book Club. This is another EP review. I'm Carson, this is Connor, and today we're going to be reviewing En Francais by Pomplamousse. While not technically an EP, it is one of their shorter albums. This came out in 2020. It is actually a cover album of some older songs, some translated from different languages. Without further ado, let's get right into this first one. Preference, I'm not going to say... I'm going to butcher the French title, and then I'm going to tell you the English title.
Yeah.
I believe the French title is pronounced... Je me suis fait tout petit, and it translates, or this is the Pomplamousse English translation, to an old French tune. Originally, this was released by George Brassens back in the 60s, and it was originally in French. I think this was a super great start to this little album/EP. A lot of good vibes come from this. It starts off with some really strong, just chilled out jazz.
Yeah, I completely agree. The song is great. I don't know what they're saying, but this song is really good. I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I gave this one a 9 out of 10. I really love this song. A lot of this album is really close to me personally. I like a lot of this music, and I'm such a big fan of French music, and specifically French jazz with Sissy Street, too. Number 2 is Sympathique, is what it is in French, and it basically just translates to friends. This one goes a little bit less hard than the last one. I didn't vibe.
I think it's funny that we're referring to these French jazz, these nice French jazz songs as going hard.
Okay, listen, they do go hard.
They do go
they
hard.
They eat. A song could be as like chill and groovy as it wants to be. I'm still gonna say it went hard.
Yeah.
It goes a little bit less hard. This was originally released by a band named Pink Martini. I don't exactly know when it was originally released, but it's a cover from that band. I think they did a great rendition of this song. Pomplamousse did a great job with transitioning everything to a more modern styling.
This song was pretty good. I think it sounds a lot to me like a Christmas song, and I'm not the biggest fan of the sound that Christmas songs have most of the time. It's still a good song, but it's my lowest rated one on here, but that's still a 7 out of 10. So
yeah, they came out with some really heavy hitters on here. These updates just do these old songs just so much justice.
100%.
Especially with the one coming up here. Song number 3, Les Yeux Noirs, I believe it's called. Originally a Russian song, actually, released by Django Reinhardt. This song, for me, is a 10 out of 10. I have a lot of love for this song. Originally, it was shown to me in Russian by Jesse. We have a great time doing our own little renditions of this throughout our little living space. I like how I said that like we were rats in a cage. But yeah, originally in Russian, translated over to French, I think they do an amazing job. It's when you go from language to language to language, it can get lost. And from what I've read about this song and from what I've heard about it on the internet, it does a really good job of translating that original Russian song into this one. The English title is The Black Eyes, by the way. I know I didn't say that.
I haven't heard the Russian version. I think I've only heard this cover of it, but it is an easy favorite on this album. This one, I think, has more of a jazz structure.
It
does. With all the breaks and some solos, and that's, I think, what did it for me. Is the structuring, it sounding more like a jazz song than the last two. And this one's been on the playlist for a while. 100%.
Yeah, this is like an old Russian love song turned into French jazz, and I just absolutely love it.
And I ended up giving it a 9.5 out of 10.
So yeah, let's move on to song number 4. I'm going to try my best here, and Connor can make fun of me during the editing later. Sous les cils de Paris, I believe, featuring Ross Guerin. I know I didn't do any of the other features, but fuck it. Originally made by Edith Piaf. The song is an 8 out of 10 for me. It following The Black Eyes is really hard, but I think it does it really well.
I could not agree more that following the last song is very hard, and I think this did it perfectly. I loved this song. It kept it going with the jazz structuring. I gave it a 9 out of 10. Originally, I had different ratings, and I had this one as a little bit lower because I was like, I can't give both of them a 9. And then it ended up bumping up the last song to a 9.5. But this song, it follows what probably could have been easily the hardest song to follow. It follows it great.
It really does a great job of providing some good contrast in there. Even though the structuring is very similar, with it being another straight jazz structure, just the variation in it and the emotion that comes out in these songs is beautiful.
Don't even get me started. We about to get there.
Oh yeah, we're about to get to the most emotional song on this album / EP, and possibly the hardest word to say ever in French, and I believe it's nuages, something like that. It just translates straight to clouds. Originally by Django Reinhardt, so I believe this was also translated from Russian. This one is the most emotional song on here, and it does it great. The vocals are insane. The background track supported so well, while just full sending those emotions. I get so sad, really.
Not knowing any of the lyrics, I know the first thing I said, I looked up over to you, and I was like, please tell me this song is sad and not like a really happy love song, because the backing track and the way the vocals are presented have such a sad feel to them that this cannot be a happy song. And I was happy to know that it was what it feels like. Public service announcement: do not listen to this song at night driving. It's not going to go well. But.
Yeah, no, that's like splitting your car in half. Like, especially if something bad has just happened in your life.
Yeah.
Don't listen to this song. You'll be on the floor. You'll be in a casket. I guarantee you, this song will just end you if you're sad already.
But it is a great song, and it got an 8 out of 10 from me.
I gave Clouds a 9 out of 10. And with that, let's move right into song number 6, Fou du Fafa, which translates kind of to Fool of the Fafa. The Fafa didn't really translate very well. I think it means like some kind of person, like it might be like a nickname or shorthand for some kind of person. This one's super fun. This is just elevator music. It's just, bop your head around to. It's a little short.
It is.
It's a little on the shorter side, but I still think it's wonderful to have as just like a nice little break song.
I will say, placement of this song is a little weird, coming after the saddest song I've ever heard, but it for sure is making like a beach playlist.
Oh yeah,
definitely has that elevator music feel. I ended up giving this song a 7.5 out of 10. It's dropping not because it's a weaker song, it's mainly because of placement.
Yeah, I think the placement kind of hurts it. I think it should have gone before Clouds, but then you kind of have the last song kind of contrasting pretty hard with Clouds.
That's true.
But I think they both stand on their own very well.
On their own, these songs are great.
I don't know if I said my rating for...
You did not.
This one, 7 out of 10. This song was also originally made by Flight of the Conchords. Now moving on to the final song, and I'm going to butcher this. Le Champs Élysées, I believe, is how you pronounce it. And
sounds right.
It translates to the Elysian Fields, originally by Joe Dawson. I gave this song a 9 out of 10. I think it fucks. God damn.
Yeah, this song is great. I gave it an 8 out of 10. And I think because this is technically an album, but it is also a cover album, and it's not enough songs to be an album, it's in a weird spot, so I am going to rate it like an album. This has an ending, and this is a great ending to it. Phenomenal
ending. A bunch of fantastic stuff coming through here. The musical variation, the solos in here, kind of. So they all just hit. There isn't like a point in listening to this song where I'm like, oh, okay, I'll skip a little bit through it, like I have with some of the other ones in here. Not because any of them are bad, but just because I've listened to this a lot, and I can kind of scrub through and see what solos I really want to listen to and what individual parts. I think overall this project is really cool. I think taking some older music, updating it from some of these different languages, and giving this contrast. Like, the Black Eyes came out super long ago. That's like a classic Russian song. And just the first one coming out in the 60s. It's, what, 60 years after? Yeah. It came out a good 60 years after that song was originally released. So having these updates by just these fantastic musicians, it really hits a good spot in my musical taste. That isn't fulfilled very, very often, but it really hits here. Let's move on to album art. I gave the album art a 6 out of 10. I think it's pretty basic. I like the font they used. Other than that, it's kind of just pink with their photo and a cool font.
Yeah, I think that's... For a cover album, you can't put, like, some crazy personal spin on it. And I think this is how you do a correct cover album art. And I gave it a 7 out of 10. I think it... Looking at it, I would know that is probably a cover album.
Yeah, it does kind of give off that vibe of cover album. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Please give us a like and subscribe if you like the content. And make sure to come back and join us next time when we release some more EP reviews.